What's up with it, man? Polo Sports Talking Entertainment here again with another one. Be sure to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel if you're not a member, and also hit the notifications so that you're able to get each and every one of my videos, okay? Now, Nick Wrong, who I usually like to call him, he was actually Nick Right in this case, you know what I'm saying? Because the reason why I call him Nick Wrong is because he be making outlandish statements that really he just does that for ratings and for views and stuff like that and tries to be a contrarian. But man, if you're gonna be a contrarian, man, please have your shit together. And a lot of times Nick Ron don't have his shit together. Now check this out, man. Uh he said that arguably the best defender ever was Hakeem Olajuwon, but that's not why I'm saying that he was right. You know what I'm saying? Because I even though I got Hakeem as one, my starting center of all time in my starting five, um, it's debatable about being the best defender. You know what I'm saying? But he definitely is up there. You know what I'm saying? But I really haven't really came with any conclusion to that. I really have to sit down and I really have to think about that. But he's definitely up there, like arguably top five. But I really haven't pinpointed anybody in that aspect yet. But he is one of my favorite players, and the reason why I do have him up there is not so much for his offense. It is because of his defense. Now, basically, he said Draymond needed to put respect on Hakeem's name, and you know Draymond basically said he continues to make a case for himself as the NBA's best defender of all time. You know, and in comparison, we also got to understand that Hakeem was twice named the league's defensive player of the year. He was first or second team all defense 9 times. Not one, not two, not three, not four, not five, 9 times. Um, Green has only won defensive player of the year just once and has made first or second team all defense 6 times. Of course, Draymond Draymond Green's career isn't finished yet, so we'll see what happens. But the thing about Hakeem is that he has the Defensive Player of the Year award and an MVP as well as a Finals MVP. So all of that checks off on his resume as being way far superior in terms of the offense. But that's not what we're talking about in overall game. We're talking about just defender. Now, this is what Nick Wrong had to say. He said basically Draymond Green went out and once again said he's the greatest defender in history. And listen, Draymond is one of the greatest defenders ever. I believe he should have won 3 consecutive Defensive Player of the Year awards. I'm on record on that from years ago. That's cap. Uh, with that, stop it. Here's the deal, Draymond. Won't we don't even have to talk about Bill Russell. It's too long ago. Set him aside. If we just go post merger, we got to. He's talking about the merger from the ABA and NBA, y'all. We've got to respect our elders, and I'm not even talking about the great and underrated and top 75 snub of Sidney Moncrief or Dennis Rodman or Scottie Pippen or even uh, Dikembe Mutombo. Even if you think you're better than all of these guys, the two greatest defenders in the modern NBA history are number two, somehow wildly underrated, Tim Duncan, and uh, number one with the bullet, questionably the greatest defensive player of the last 50 years in the NBA is Hakeem the Dream Olajuwon. Hakeem's block record will never be broken. He has 3,800 blocks, and the next closest is 3,200. If you added Ben Wallace's blocks and Dwight Howard's blocks, you could barely pass Hakeem's blocks. Okay, steals, he's 10th all time as a center. There's not another center on the top 60. And then Hakeem is one of the greatest of all time. And going to ask I'm not asking you to go to watch the tape. Your guys' careers damn near overlap. So I respect you, Draymond, but just simmer down a bit. Hakeem, the dream, the greatest defender ever. Everybody knows it. Now, listen, I like the confidence that that Draymond, he comes with, and he's always saying, he's the best defender, but he does need to pipe down and just play, man. I mean, that's his personality. Ain't nothing we gonna do about it. But I think he's out to prove to people that, okay, hey, look, the Warriors are back, and he's back to being what he was, several, couple seasons ago or whatnot. When they were consistently winning championships. But here's the thing, Nick Wright actually does have a point. Now, people forget how agile Hakeem Olajuwon was, and he was one of the only people in history to have a quadruple double, and what that consisted of was, uh, of course, 10 points. I mean, double digit in points, double digit in rebound, double digit in blocks, uh, and I want to say double digit in assists. You know what I'm saying? To my recollection. Now, that just goes to show you how versatile Hakeem was. You got a lot of people that chose Hakeem. I mean, Michael Jordan has Hakeem to run with, you know. And see, a lot of people get this overstated. The reason why the 3,800 blocks, now I believe now, this is something that Two Raw had talked about too. Shout out to Two Raw too. If you haven't subbed to his channel, definitely sub to his channel, man. Historian of the highest order and one of the generals in the LDBC too as well. Now, Tural has said this though, and this is why like he's all time leader in blocks, but there are plenty of players, like a Kareem and like a Wilt and of course, Bill Russell, some of those guys that before some of those stats were actually counted, uh, one could argue that they probably would have had more, blocks total, at the end of their careers. You know what I'm saying? And they were saying, of course, Wilt Chamberlain too. He was blocking a lot of shots. You know what I'm saying? All these guys were blocking a lot of shots. All the centers uh, back then before they started to count blocks. Now, this is the thing too, man. A lot of people they think that Hakeem wasn't agile in the pick and roll, and he was agile in the high pick and roll, and as well as down low too as well. You know what I'm saying? Like in terms of defending. As he got older, you know what I'm saying? Of course, you're gonna slow down. You're gonna lose some steps, of course. But just right here, looking at this right here, this was in '94. This is when you know, he was actually slowing down. You know, hold on one second. Like when he was with Phi Slamma Jamma and with the University of Houston, stuff like that. Hakeem was always gonna chase you down, and people forget that Hakeem. This wasn't even his first love, basketball. This wasn't his first love. His first love was soccer, and he was a goalie. So you take that into consideration. He already had a mindset to defend. You know what I'm saying? Like when I look at somebody like, Hakeem, uh, okay, like on the block and stuff like that, the Joel Embiid in terms of his offense and stuff like that, he has some similarities to him. But see, a guy that nobody really looks at and stuff, and I know he's probably not right all the way up there with Hakeem in terms of height. You know what I'm saying? Because Hakeem, he was right at 7 foot. But somebody like Giannis, because Giannis will chase you down, but Giannis is extremely athletic. He's long, and he could play defense too. You know, and Giannis did something that Hakeem did. Which is win Defensive Player of the Year and also win MVP in the same season. So I look at Giannis, and he's chased guys down, and he's hustled back and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? Like he does the same thing. Hakeem used to do that. And when you have a center that is able to do something like that, that's very valuable to your team. It's valuable to your squad. Hold on 1 minute. So we have to take that into consideration, you know, and not much props is given to him. I don't think that a lot of centers like him were chasing down, maybe with the exception of Will Chamberlain, maybe, and even Bill Russell. So uh, Shaquille O'Neal, yeah, while he was he was athletic and stuff like that early on and stuff, he wasn't he didn't have the speed like a Hakeem and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? Hakeem could run. He probably looked slow to a lot of people, but he wasn't slow at all. You know what I'm saying? So I think people need to stop. When you can chase down a guy like Rod Strickland, even though Rod Strickland wasn't lightning fast or nothing like that, but he was quick. When you could chase down Kevin Johnson, when you could chase down different guards and stuff like that are half your size and probably can move a little quicker than you, that says a lot about you. You know. So as far as Draymond, listen, I'm not getting on here hating on Draymond. I'm not one of the ones that sit on here and shit on Draymond. I actually have a lot of respect for Draymond. I just don't like his antics, and I don't like him when he runs his mouth. He simmered down for a little bit, but then he's starting to amp up again. Listen, man, just let your plan do the talking, man. You know what I'm saying? We know what the Warriors are doing this year, and more importantly, man, we know that you've been a huge factor to go along with the other guys there. And y'all actually have a case to make if all goes well with the season to possibly win the championship. You know, so hope y'all enjoyed this video. Like it, share it, subscribe. Also hit the notifications. Until then, man, it's Polo Sports Talking ENT, man. I get at you later.